Welcome back to Culinary Chronicles. I'm your host Daniel. Today we're going to be making pork carnitas. What we're going to do is we're actually starting off with a boneless pork butt. And we're going to go and we've marinated this for the last 12 hours overnight in a orange juice, lime juice, salt, and pepper kind of marinade. And this is really just kind of a basic, there's citrus flavor, helps break it down a little bit, and kind of gives you the nice undertones for carnita, for the meat for the carnitas. And we're going to go ahead and get this in the smoker once we get a rub put together on it. And we're going to smoke it to 165, take it out, wrap it, and then go up to 205. Take it up to 205, and then what we'll do then is we'll shred it and saute it up in some in a skillet with some fat and some more seasonings, and then we'll be ready for tacos. So let's go ahead and get our rub together. So our rub today, we're just starting off with a tablespoon and a half of brown sugar. We're going with we got some salt and pepper, about 2 teaspoons each, and then I got a teaspoon of garlic, a teaspoon of onion. So we'll go ahead and get that put in there, and then I have half a teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of cumin, and half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And it's actually more about a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then we're going to also add in a teaspoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of chipotle chili, and going to go ahead, and that's where the oregano is. So we're going to go ahead and get this all mixed up. We're not going heavy on the rub because we actually are going to be adding more flavor to this as we go about. So really not 100% necessary. So we got this pretty much covered. So we're going to go ahead and get this into the smoker. We're doing 250. This total smoke time should take about 12 to 13 hours. This is about 8 pounds of meat. This one is boneless. You can do bone-in or boneless. It just depends on what your preference is. This was cheaper for me to get, so this is the one I got. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in the smoker, and then we'll, when we pull this out, we'll go ahead and give an update then, and walk you through what we do. And so that's once it hits 165 degrees. Alright, so this has been in the smoker for about 5.5 hours. We've hit that 165 internal temperature. We've got a good, nice bark on this. We're going to go ahead and get this seasoned up, wrapped up to finish up and hit that 200 degree temperature. You really want to hit anywhere from 200 to 205. If you're going to let it rest before you pull it, I would go ahead and pull it at 200 because it will go up a few more degrees. If you're going to immediately pull it apart, you're good to pull at 205. Either way, they both work out great. So what I'm going to do for this is I got more of our rub. So I'm going to sprinkle some of that on. Decent amount of it. And then you got about a cup of, 3/4 of a cup to a cup of beef tallow. So this is fat I rendered down off of the brisket we did a while back. And next time I'm doing a brisket, we'll have a video explaining that more. But with carnitas, there's 2 types of fat I would say use for this. I would use either beef tallow or bacon fat. For the bacon fat, it's just I have a dish in our kitchen that we screen our bacon fat into, and so it gets all the gunk out of it and everything whenever we're cooking bacon. And we use that for cooking multiple things. Recently I cleaned it out, and so didn't really have enough to start, so I'm using this beef tallow today. And we're going to go ahead and get this wrapped in foil. I've kept my thermoprobe meat thermometer in the meat so I can keep an eye, and it also will keep me from losing any liquid or any moisture with the way I have it ran through and pinched off around the foil. So we should be good with that. So we're going to keep our smoker at 250. We're going to throw it in there, and hopefully we'll be done in about 4.5 to 5 hours. And so once we get this back going again, we'll see how that goes. So we'll be keeping you updated, and we'll get you at the next part. Alright, so we got this done. It hit 205 about 20 minutes ago. We let it sit out and set up for a little bit. So now, if you notice, there's plenty of juices and fat near the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and shred this. Get it just nice falling apart. Basically, get it into taco-sized bites. And we're going to actually store it in this liquid, because tomorrow is when we're going to cook this up again and serve it. So we've got one step left, so we're going to get back to that here in a little bit. We're going to show you how to finish preparing it. So you do want to keep the juices and you want to keep the meat. It's kind of prefer to keep them both together. So we're going to go ahead, have it all shredded, nice and neat, hanging out in the juices overnight. Gives it a little bit more flavor as it soaks in its own fat in the beef tallow. So we'll get it, and we'll crisp it up tomorrow in the pan, heating it back up to serving temperature before we make our tacos. So we'll go ahead, we'll get to that. Alright, so now that we got everything ready and we're getting ready for lunchtime, we're going to go ahead and get our pork finished up. So what makes pork carnitas different from just normal pulled pork is we're going to actually cook it again in a hot cast iron skillet with some more beef tallow. And we're going to go ahead and get the beef tallow in first so that we can go ahead get that melting down. Good news about beef tallow is on a warm day it already starts melting before you have to even get it into the pan. So now that we got that going good, I'm going to go ahead and scoop out the meat, throw it in there. We'll go ahead and start getting it to fry. Basically what we're doing at this point is we're just going to pan fry it here in the tallow. Should have let it heat up just a moment longer, but that'll be fine. So we're going to go ahead, we've got it started going. It's starting to fry up pretty good. We want to get it semi-crispy. And we're going to be using some corn tortillas for it today, along with some queso fresca. Something I enjoy on some good tacos. I'm going burritos, I'll go with like a shredded cheese mix. But for the most part, I just use queso fresca for tacos. So this is a great meal for if you're doing meal prep. You could go ahead and get it marinated and smoked, pulled apart. You can take whatever juice you have left out of the pan, put it in a bowl for itself. That way you can just use that for crisping it up. That's normally what I would do, but I actually didn't have nearly as much left over this time as I normally do. So we're doing this instead. So what we're going to do, but I like to actually separate that out, separate it into quart bags, so that's 2 or 3 meals at a time, and then freeze it. And that way you're only pulling out a couple meals at a time, and you can crisp it up as you go, or you can go ahead and do meal prep and crisp up 3 days, fry up 3 days worth. And it's a great economical way to have good meal prep. It might not be the healthiest meal prep in the world, considering that it's pulled pork that we then fry. But so that is a great option for if there's just one or two people in your household and you want to be able to do this, but you're worried about how much there's going to be. So this is something I enjoy to do as meal prep for us, because I can do basically 2 quart. I can get about 3 quart bags out of pork shoulder, and that will last us 2 to 3 meals for the two of us per each bag, and we can freeze it, and whenever we want it again, it's not nearly as much work every time. Alright, so these have a nice, good, crisp texture to them. Just gonna go ahead and throw some on our tacos. And with these tacos, I mean, you can add in some fried potatoes, roasted potatoes. You could also throw in cilantro, salsa. You can swap out the cheeses if you like. That's all up to you. That's all up to preference. I'm just going nice and simple this morning. That meat turned out fantastic. I'm gonna enjoy these. This is lunch day. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button down below. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We got some cool things coming down the pipeline, some fun things, so go ahead, hit that alarm bell. That way you get notifications when we post. We are active now on Facebook, and so we'll keep active on there. You'll get some basically some heads up about what videos might be coming out, and just a little bit more information here and there. We're having fun. We hope you're having fun. Let us know down below in the comments what you want to see. If you have any questions or anything, let us know. We'll see you down the road. Have a great meal. See you next time. Thank you.